Hola, it's April Yvette Thompson, and I am here, Badass Actors, to talk about the emotional chords and the amazing discovery that I recently just made. While I invite some folks to come and join in on this call, on this live thing, you can type in questions and I'll respond. So I want to talk about your emotional chords in terms of how they affect your acting, but how they affect your humanity in general. Because acting is being an acrobat of the human condition. You are exploring how we live, think, feel, the choices that we make, right? And you're going to be an expert at a certain set of given circumstances and emotions because they are part of who you are. They are part of the life lesson that you're sorting out here in this lifetime. That's all the emotional chords are. So if your life lesson is to find your voice, guess what? You're going to understand characters who don't have a voice or who have trouble finding and honoring it. It's just that simple. Now, how did I figure this out? This is the aha moment. I was like, oh, your emotional chords are just your life lessons. So, of course, if you haven't learned the life lesson, you can play a character who hasn't learned that life lesson. Duh! And why it's so great is that unlike your physical type, which is constantly going to change, right? All of us black ladies know black don't crack, right? So we go in for auditions for women from 30 to 65. Okay? And people are like, okay, she's 30 years old. Can you play that? But you're a lot older than 30, but you still look 30. And you go in there and you do the audition and they're like, you don't quite ring. It's a good audition. It's because you know too much. Your soul has already learned a whole set of life lessons that this 30-year-old ingenue has not. Right? That's why just being cast according to your physical type is incredibly limiting. Incredibly limiting. So, this is where the emotional types come in, right? Because even a stunted tree reaches for the light, right? That's from Jacqueline Carey. I love this fantasy writer. She talks about the places where we're broken, right? They're the places that we learn to have compassion for. When we recognize those places and characters, we learn to have compassion for the character we're playing because we understand that struggle. And I will tell you, the most enlightening thing for me was looking at psychoastrology, which is psychology and astrology. It's a study mixed together, which totally makes sense. I mean, Jesus Christ, he was being born in that manger. Who came and said he's going to be the Messiah? Astrologers. Aloha. They were like, we did the chart. We can tell what his psychological makeup is. That's the Messiah. Boom, my work here is done. Here's the present. Goodbye. It's not completely woo-woo. All astrology is looking at human emotional types. If you read a description of any horoscope, right? Taurus, Capricorn, whatever, it's a psychological description of how that person gets what they want in the world, how they process their feelings, what they struggle with, what they're really good at. It's nothing more than a profile, an emotional profile, right? And there's this really cool thing. If you get your chart done, and you can do it yourself at astro.com, astro.com, and you look through it, right? And you go down to the bottom of the chart and you look for true node. Your true node north is the lesson that you are put here to learn. And that life lesson is one of your emotional chords. It's just that simple. Like, it's just that simple. My true node is Taurus. Right? And how that, and the opposite of that, the south node, is Scorpio. Right? Taurus has learned how to enjoy life. Taurus has learned how to provide for their family while still being present and not being a workaholic. Taurus has learned how to solve family problems and be the nurturer without conflict. Right? The opposite side of that spectrum, when you're talking about your north and your south node, is the dark side of Scorpio, which is the troubling lesson that I have to learn here. And that instead of solving problems and being the nurturer, I'm always looking at the dark side and waiting for things to fall apart. And that makes a person controlling, aggressive, angry, failed, depressed. These are all the life lessons that you're sorting through. And the answer is in my true node is to learn to enjoy life and learn to expect the best. But I bet you I could play characters who go to the dark side in very specific ways, right? You know, the mother, when you walk through the door wearing your cute outfit, you just nailed an audition, and your first thing that your mother says is, "You wore those scruffy shoes out today?" She could not find one good thing about you, but she could pinpoint the one thing to rip you to shreds. That's Scorpio behavior gone dark, right? Right? If your sun sign is Scorpio, there's a dark in the light of Scorpio. The light of Scorpio is an incredibly evolved person, incredibly a spiritual vessel, right, for learning and higher consciousness. The dark side of that is the expectation of badness in your life. So the true node gave me this huge clue about how to articulate one of my emotional chords. Right? This person who, whatever kind of trauma, and if you read a description of the true node, it gives real reasons. You know, it said to me, if you look at the description, that in a past life or even early in this life, right, my childhood, my family structure was full of violence and abuse. So a person that either in a past life remembers that, those psychic wounds, or even in childhood where everything fell apart and there was so much violence and devastation. That makes a dark personality who expects the world to always fall apart. My life lesson is to get over that. So I play characters really well who are struggling through their own darkness, right? Because just because bad things happen to you in a past life or bad things happen to you in your childhood, you have to move through, I'm going to expect the rest of my life to look like that. Because then what you experience is not the present. You're always reliving the past and you can't move forward. How about that for an emotional chord? How about I get characters who are struggling in that darkness? I mean, this emotional chord stuff, it's fantastic for writers. It's fantastic for any storyteller. I use it in my writing. It's how I wrote my second play, Good Bird Alley. It's how I wrote my first play, Liberty City, where I had to play 30 different characters. Well, I looked at these characters and I looked at their life lessons and I looked at their struggles, and that's how I created them. That's how I chose what problems to put in their path, because the problems had to do with their major life lessons that they had to learn. So when you look at characters, look at the emotional makeup of them. What are they doing, right, in the script? What are they expecting for their lives, right? How are they working through stuff? Well, guess what? If they expecting shit to go wrong, you understand that character if that's one of your chords. If they can't find their voice, you understand that character. And you know what? It doesn't matter what their race is. It doesn't matter what their gender is. It doesn't matter what their age is. If it's your emotional chord, you can write about that character. You can play that character with your eyes closed. It's real, yeah. It's real. So that's my aha moment about the emotional chords. Modesto is in the middle of shooting his movie, so he can't join us right now. I love the comments here. But I will be back next week. If you want to weigh in about good times that you'll be available to check in on a live video call, you can put that in the comments. If you have questions for me, put it in the comments. If you want to get more videos mailed to you, go to thedreamunlocked.com, right? And it'll be in the description. But you can go to the Dream, www. I'm typing it in right now. thedreamunlocked.com. And in this,